Hello, Gregori Jaguars. My name is Ms. Kuroda. I'm the Assistant Principal for the Global Studies and Career Tech Small Learning Communities.
My name is Mr. Fromm. I'm the Assistant Principal of Digital Media Business and Visual and Performing Arts.
The purpose of watching this video today is to learn the important components of the Student Conduct Code.
Here at Gregori High School, we have high expectations for all students. We expect students to achieve, we expect students to demonstrate loyalty and have integrity across the campus. And part of that is following the Modesto City Schools Conduct Code that we're going to review together. So a couple important things I want to go over at the beginning of the Conduct Code. On page 5, we have a district calendar which has all your important dates on it, collaboration days you want to reference and make sure that your schedule is right. On page 9, that's bus rules and regulations. If you're a bus rider, it's important to review that document. That document needs to be signed and returned to the bus driver. Review that with your parents. Riding the bus is a privilege, it's not a right, and we need to get you to and from school safely. So please review that with your parents. On page 17, that goes over the rights and responsibilities of students and teachers here at Gregori High School. Students and teachers deserve the right and have the right to be in a safe learning environment free of distractions. It goes into more detail, and again, that's another page that would be great to review with your family.
Page 19 tells you some important information about attendance. It's very important to be at school every day and to be on time. When you're at Gregori, you're on a block schedule, which means that every day that you miss is really like missing two, and so it's important to be at school as much as possible. Absences need to be cleared within 7 days in order for them to be excused, and your teachers may not let you make up your work if you have an unexcused absence. So it's very important to get your parents to clear your absences as soon as possible. Being on time is also really important. The tardy policy at Gregori will, if you keep being tardy, you're going to end up in lunch detention, missing an important part of your day. So please be on time to class. The dress code for Modesto City Schools is listed on page 25 and 26. If you ever have questions about the dress code, you can ask a staff member, a campus supervisor, any other adult will let you know if there's something you need to do about the clothing that you're wearing. Starting on page 38, it's the list of offenses and consequences. There are things that you really need to not do when you're at Gregori High School or any place really. So read through those and you'll know exactly what would happen to you if you do something that violates that code of conduct. And moving along, I need to talk about a very important topic that's called sexual harassment. On page 44 of the Conduct Code, the consequences are listed for committing sexual harassment. A detailed description of sexual harassment is on page 57. Basically, I'm going to read something to you and explain what that means. The definition of sexual harassment is unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal, visual, or physical conduct of a sexual nature made by someone from or in the work or educational setting under any of conditions such as it's having a negative effect on the learning environment. It's really important that you treat your fellow students with respect. And there are different kinds of sexual harassment. One would be verbal harassment, comments, jokes, using verbal abuse towards your fellow students or adults on campus. Physical harassment, offensive touching, that sort of nature. Visual harassment, drawing pictures that are inappropriate, inappropriate gestures, and sexual favors, giving kind of sexual advances, asking people for sexual favors. I would hope that no Gregori Jaguars would engage in such behavior, but sometimes you may commit sexual harassment without even realizing that you're doing it. The important thing to do is to really watch your words and make sure that what you're saying to your friends is appropriate, because someone may overhear what you're saying, and even if your friends aren't offended by what you're saying, the other student may be. And anyone can commit sexual harassment against another person. It could be male, female, female, male, or male, male, female, female, female. So it's really important to make sure that you watch what you're saying, you're not making offensive gestures, and that's inside or outside of the classroom, because the consequences for sexual harassment are pretty serious. You can end up being on home suspension. You can even end up being transferred to another school if you can't control those kind of behaviors. If you have questions about sexual harassment, please consult page 57 of the Conduct Code to start. And then I want you to come to an administrator, because if you feel like you're being sexually harassed and you don't know what to do, please come to Mr. Fromm or come to me or another administrator, and we will help you and get that behavior to stop.
Bullying has been an issue across campuses, and that's something we take very seriously here at Gregori High School. If you feel that you're the victim of someone bullying you or someone is doing something to try to intimidate you, please see an administrator or a teacher right away. Bullying includes anything done on campus. It could be anything written, it could be anything social media, it could be text messages, it could be a Snapchat. All of that falls under the umbrella of bullying. So if you make someone else feel worried to come to school, if you make them feel like there's something going on that's going to interfere with their academic process because students are bothering them or coming after them, that would all be bullying. It doesn't matter if it's in person, online, anything like that would fall under bullying. We take that very seriously. Right away we will meet with students and then consequences will come as a result the following.
It's really important to find just an adult that you trust while you're here at Gregori High School, because that person can help you, and it doesn't matter who that adult is. It could be your teacher, it could be a campus supervisor, it can be an administrator. I want every Gregori Jaguar to feel comfortable with at least one adult on campus, and Mr. Fromm and I are really easy to talk to. So if you ever feel uncomfortable or you feel like there's no one else you can talk to, please find us and we'll give you a hand with all of those sorts of things. Moving along, I'm going to talk about something that probably most of you have that is very dear to you, your cell phone. Your cell phone, it's okay to use it outside of the classroom, at lunch, during passing periods, before and after school. In the classroom, your teacher will most likely ask you to have it put away and on silent. And the consequences for using your cell phone in class can lead to it being taken away for the entire day, locked up in an office where you will have no access to it, phone calls home, and your parent may eventually have to come and pick it up. And think about it, if that's on a Friday, you're not gonna have, and your parents can't come, you're not gonna have your phone for the whole weekend. I don't think it's worth it. So be careful about your use of your cell phone in the classroom. Every now and then a teacher will ask you to use it for an activity, but all of you have a one-on-one device, so that is usually the electronic media that you are going to use in the classroom. Be careful about your phone. If you like your phone, keep it put away and it won't be taken away. And I know I talked before about watching your words. I'm going to talk a little bit about profanity. Watch your language when you're at school. When you have a job, I have a feeling that your boss will not want you to be using profanity at work. The same thing is at school. Part of what we're doing here is teaching you behaviors that will lead you to a bright future. Using habitual profanity, which means saying words like that all the time, is not going to lead to a bright future. So watch your words, watch what you're saying, because profanity can also be constituted as sexual harassment or could be constituted as bullying.
And a couple other things to wrap up. Here at Gregori, once the school day starts, the parking lot is is considered out of bounds. So no students should be in the parking lot once that school day gets started. And we have campus supervisors that will be enforcing that, as well as administration. Another thing that's out of bounds is during lunchtime. The C building, the N building, all buildings are out of bounds during lunchtime. If you have to see a teacher for some reason during lunch, you need to enter through the administrative office and then go directly to that teacher's classroom. If you're found wandering in the halls during lunchtime, you're going to be asked to leave. And if you're asked to leave on multiple occasions, there will be further consequences. Again, the buildings are off limits. During lunchtime, you need to be in the designated areas when you're eating. Last thing, on page 81, there's an acknowledgement form. That needs to go home. You and your parent need to review the conduct code, and that form needs to be filled out acknowledging that you received it and that you've reviewed it. On the back of that page, if you choose not to be included in any social media that the school puts out, there's a media opt-out form. You and your family need to fill that out and return that as well, acknowledging and letting us know that you don't want to be involved in any of the social media, you don't want your picture taken at Gregori events to be put on the social media. Around campus, again, like I said, we expect high achievement, loyalty, and integrity. One of the things that we do here at Gregori High School is we have spotted cards. So if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're showing academic achievement, social achievement, integrity, and loyalty, you'll be provided a spotted card. These go into the C building administrative office and the N building administrative office. You'll find a box there. And weekly, we're going to draw names for gift cards and other prizes. So Be on the lookout for these, and these go into the administrative offices in the C and N building.
And we're looking forward to a really great year with all of you at Gregori. Thank you, Jags, for listening today, and please see us if you have any questions.
Go Jags!